Good afternoon and welcome to our Service of Remembrance for the year 2020. This past year has presented many challenges for so many people at many different levels. For those of you who may have lost someone that you deeply care about, the grief process and navigating through this past year has been extremely difficult. Every year, our team puts together a program that, with sincere effort, we hope will provide you all with an opportunity to reflect and remember and hopefully grab and gather a sense of peace as you work through this busy and hectic holiday season. It is our hope that you all will have a safe and happy holiday and many blessings in the new year. Thank you.
O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God, his Son, not sparing, sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross, my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Looney, and I'm a hospice chaplain here in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm honored to have this chance to share with you today. And I hope that something that I say will help you in the journey that is 2020, that it will help you and assist you in continuing to move forward. I'm also grateful to Stuhr's Funeral Home for the services like this that honor those who have left us this year, but also their commitment to aftercare and also their commitment to grief support. And today is a part of that. You see, 2020 has been quite an unforgettable year. We've had a global pandemic that has crippled countries around the world, as many people have lost their lives to COVID-19. We've learned new terms like social distancing. We could consider this the year of the mask. We saw wildfires burn in Australia, over 47,000 acres, 50 lives were lost, and over 1 billion animals were killed by these fires. We had protests in the streets after the death of George Floyd. Politics is at an all-time high for division in our country. We said goodbye to several famous people this year. Early in the year, Kobe Bryant, Alex Trebek died. Regis Philbin died this year, and South Carolina's own Chadwick Boseman We know him as the Black Panther, passed away this year. And we look at this year and we say, wow, what a year. But most importantly, to each one of you that is listening and hearing this today, you lost someone special to you. And that's why we are here. That's what we are here for today, is to honor them, to honor you, and to remember. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. It's that one word, and it's just remember. You see, last week I had the opportunity to visit with my father and spend some time with my dad. He's 88 years of age, and he's been recently diagnosed with dementia. And he does very well for the most part. But he'll be telling a story, and he's like me, loves to tell stories. And then all of a sudden, his short-term memory loss happens, and he gets lost in the story, and he has what we call short-term memory loss. And it actually makes me think of the times that even my wife would say, go take out the trash. And within a few moments, I had what we call short-term memory loss. I've been asked this question many times. How could you forget so quickly? And I'm not sure I have the right answer for that, but I think my answer is probably because I didn't want to take out the trash. But the point is, we all have some level of short-term memory loss. And that's what we need to do today. We are remembering instead of losing those memories. I was thinking about what we do to remind ourselves. On my phone, I have apps. I have a Todoist app or Microsoft Outlook to help me. We have Post-it notes all over our house. Many of you are like me, that your refrigerator used to cool food and it used to freeze things, but now your refrigerator has become a bulletin board with reminders of your next doctor's appointment. And that's what we do to be able to remember. And we do that with old school things as well, like the Franklin Covey planners. But understand this, we all have some short-term memory loss of some kind, and that's what I want to address. You see, our memory is a part of our humanity. It's what makes us who we are. The good, the bad, the stress, the joys, they all contribute to what we become and how we respond to situations. So today, this is what I want to say to you is remember. Remember. When I was the last person to be walking out of my house, my mother she would yell at me, or she would say to me, she would say, don't forget to turn the lights out. She'd also say, don't forget to lock the door, but don't forget to turn the lights out. Here's what I want to do today in the next few moments before we have our candle lighting ceremony. I want to say to you, don't forget to leave the lights on. And let me explain that. See, the person that lost their life this year was instead of their losing the life, we could say possibly that there's a light that was shining that's been lost in our lives. During our time today, you're going to bring honor to them by lighting a candle in their honor. And I hope that it will be more than a one-time thing. Maybe it'll be something that you could continue to keep on doing to keep their memory alive. And I want you to focus on the most powerful times in their lives. Many of you will remember your family member, your dad, your mom, your spouse, your son, or your daughter in their final condition of life. It might have been a weakened place by disease and by age. And this is a part of your memory. But I want to encourage you to remember them in their most powerful place. Remember them on the times your heart will be strengthened by their light. Remember them when they were doing what they loved to do. Remember them when they were doing what they did best. I love this verse that Jesus speaks to us in Matthew chapter 5 when he talks about memory. He says, you are the light of the world. You are a town built on a hill that cannot be hidden. And neither do people that light a lamp put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So when we remember them, we continue to let their light shine. Today, when we light the candles, keep that in mind. The light is not something that needs to be hidden. The light is something that needs to be raised to brighten the house for everyone. I love this Jewish prayer that is used while a family is going through Shiva, which is the 7 days of mourning after death. And it says, we remember them. And it simply says this: in the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, in the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, in the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, in the beginning of the year and when it ends, when we are weary and we are in need of strength, when we are lost and when we are sick at heart, when we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them and remember them well. It reminds me of a story that happened to me about 6 or 7 years ago when I was visiting one of my hospice patients. And before me in the bed was a person that was racked with pain, a person that had lost most of their memory and was going to die within the week. I didn't know that day, but she died the next week. Someone had told her before I got there for the visit that I had had a car accident previously. And so when I got there for the visit, that's all she wanted to talk about was my car wreck. As we began to discuss, as friends would talk about this car accident, and I was the last car, you know, the last car is the one who usually gets in trouble and gets the ticket, and that was me. As we discussed this patient, what I might not have told you, was a judge. And all of a sudden, the lawyer in her came out, and she began to ask me questions, and that little bit of interaction became a deposition to where she finally asked me a question, and I admitted guilt in the wreck. And then she looked at me in that moment. Her family's there with her, and she says, so did you pay your fine, young man? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she looked at me and said, well, if you've paid your fine and everything's taken care of, you're dismissed. And I looked at her and I said, is that what you would say to people that were in your court? And she looked at me in the sternest way and said, young man, I said you're dismissed. And she pointed to the door. And I gathered my stuff and I got up and walked out. Now, in that moment, and I had to make sure that she was really wanting me to leave. But what I didn't realize was happening was she had remembered herself at that most powerful point of her life. She was doing what she loved doing. She had served her country. She had stood with presidents. And in that moment, her family got to see her and return to her power. Just the power of memory. Just the power of being able to remember brings healing. There's a poem, and I will close with this today, that says, remember me. To the living, I am gone. To the sorrowful, I will never return. To the angry, I was cheated. But to the happy, I am at peace. To the faithful, I have never left. I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon a shore, gazing at a beautiful sea, as you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts, and your memories of the times that we loved, the times that we cried, the times that we fought, the times that we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will have never gone. So today, in ending, I say this: keep the light on. Keep the light on, and remember.
Must have been cold there in my shadow. Never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. You always walked a step behind. I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. Beautiful face without a name, a beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? Everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed. I've got it all here in my heart. Want you to know I know the truth. I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I would like to be. I could fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings.
The Irish funeral prayer. Death is nothing at all. It does not count. I have only slipped away into the next room. Everything remains as it was. The old life that we lived so fondly together is untouched and unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by the old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way which you always used. Put no sorrow in your tone. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, and pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of mind because I'm out of sight? I am but waiting for you for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well, nothing is hurt, nothing is lost. One brief moment, and all will be as it was before. How we shall laugh at the trouble of parting when we shall meet again.
The song that I'm about to sing was recorded by Louis Armstrong in 1967. And when he sang this song, and it's called What a Wonderful World, you have to remember that he was living in a time when just to go into a hotel, he had to use the back entrance. But there's a line in this song that he liked that said, I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. He was looking to the future. And in the midst of what we're going through in 2020, we can understand that we live in a wonderful world and we can believe for the best to come. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. So as we close today, I want us to remember the words of Jesus in John 14, where he said, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you. And I'm going to prepare a place for you. So today I'm asking for peace for those who are hurting. I'm asking for wisdom for those who are still questioning what has happened this year. Comfort for those who have had such a great loss. And just as Jesus said, we ask that our hearts not be troubled. So I pray as we bow, I pray that our hearts will find refuge and strength. I pray that each person that is grieving will grieve well, but help each person there to remember to keep the light, or as we had today, the candles, to keep them lit and to remember. And Lord, the blessing from the book of Numbers, we say the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, and the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious upon you, and the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.